Hi, now you can see there's a bit of a frost this morning. According to the temperature gauge on my car, it was -6, which is pretty unusual in England these days. So we've got a nice frost here. This is the drinking pool. This appeared in one of my YouTube films a few weeks ago. Decided to change it. Instead of being a drinking pool now, it's just going to be a raised bit of ground. And then I'm going to put apples and different things here and photograph the birds as if they're on the ground. So just a raised table. So I've been filling it up. This is a bit of sand which I bought this morning, so that still looks fresh. Otherwise it's just a mixture of soil, sand, gravel, and I haven't quite finished yet. I need a bit more, and that's what I'm going to be doing. But we've got a nice hoarfrost and I want to make use of it. And there's a few birds been down here this morning, dunnocks and blackbirds, nuthatch, robin, and I'm going to try and photograph them on this grass. So the first thing that's got to happen is all the feeders have got to be moved out of the way to leave myself a clear view. Well, that's as clear as I'm going to get it. Now, this hide doesn't have a ground level aperture to it, so I can only shoot from the sitting height. So I'm going to put my canvas hide up. I'm going to put the Buteo single person hide up. I don't have the lie down hide with me, the Buteo lie down hide, but you can lie down in the single person hide, just your feet are sticking out the back. Well, that's okay, the birds can't see you. So I'm just going to put that up here. And I've carried my camping mat across with me, so I'm going to lie down on that. Otherwise, on this cold ground, you would chill very quickly. Now, to get this Benro tripod down to ground level, you have to take out the centre column, which is a bit of a nuisance, but they supply you with a short stubby one as well. It's just a nuisance, you have to change them instead of being able to unscrew them. And this bit on the inside, this tends to fall out rather readily. I wish it didn't, because my hands are cold. They don't like doing fiddly things like this when your hand is cold. It's come out again. And now you can spread the legs. And get it down low. Whew. And now I can just lie down here. My feet will stick out the back of the hide. The birds can't see that, and even if they could, they don't associate those legs with a human being. They're not that intelligent. They just see two logs sticking out the back of the hide. And the first bird in is the common pheasant, otherwise known as the ring-necked pheasant. We used to have a lot of these coming to the feeder, 20-30 birds, which was too much. They were eating too much of the food. But that's when this was a shooting estate and there were gamekeepers and they were rearing them in huge numbers. The shooting stopped now and the number of pheasants is slowly reducing. Red-legged partridge. We used to have grey partridge, but not anymore. Haven't seen any for some years now. And the common robin. A male great-spotted woodpecker. It's quite common to see them come down onto the ground. The jay, there's two individuals coming down. One is very tame and the other very nervous. And a long-tailed tit. And a great tit. The following day there was no frost and I had a go at doing the jays on that raised table. They were very obliging, they came straight down to it. And the woodpecker too. That's the first few pictures taken. I think it's going to look a bit better when it greens up. We've still got a bit of grass growing here, but it needs to spread around a bit, which we will do in a few months' time. And then I'll be trying again. In the autumn, I can cover it in leaves, golden coloured leaves, and that will look very attractive, especially for the jay. Now, while I was photographing on the top of that table, the other bird that was coming in was long-tailed tits, small parties of them. Haven't seen them for a few months, but they've started coming back again. And they tend to land in this bit of weedy patch here. So I'm going to try and make use of that. Instead of getting the birds coming in to the feeder and putting up perches for them, I'm going to move the feeders into this patch. So it's a very natural looking perch. You often hear this negative comment in wildlife photography, it's a bird on a stick picture. And what's the difference between a bird on a stick and a bird on a perch? Well, for me, it's when the stick looks as if the photographer has placed it there. It just has an unnatural look to it. And it's just trying to get that stick to look like a perch, just trying to make it look more natural or attractive, whatever word you want to use. So if you're using something that is just growing there, it's more likely to look natural. So I've just put the feeders up here and hopefully the long-tailed tits will land here. But the important thing is, don't put the feeder up right in the middle of it, because then the tits are going to be quite likely towards the centre of it. There'll be bits in the way. I've put it on the edge of it and I've put it where it's a bit thinner. So back here it's quite thick all the way through, but here there's not so many of them and I'm shooting from this angle. So it's just trying to find the perfect spot to do it. Now, because I can't reach this weedy patch from the wooden hide, I've got to put my portable hide up, and it's just picking that right angle and watching that background as well. I don't want any highlights in the background. Looks quite good from here. And then over here we have a bramble patch, and just by putting the feeders low down underneath the bramble, the birds are going to quite naturally land on the top here. Nothing very exciting came in, just blue tits and grey tits and long-tailed tits. But I suppose every winter I've got to take a few more pictures of common birds like these. Thanks for watching.